I fucking skeeve a spray tan. I skeeve the smell. I skeeve the look. I skeeve the hands. I just skeeve it. I know it's better for like your skin and all that shit. I'll look like a shriveled raisin. I already do. It's fine. I fucking skeeve a spray tan.
It stains walls.
Oh.
Welcome to another episode of the In Your Home podcast. I don't.
I market. That's Tony B is happy to.
Would have to be Barclay Prime.
So how many games do you
Grew up in Monmouth County, Central Jersey, my whole life.
Now in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis.
Well, I love being an artist, man, because I want to make stories. And
I'm based here in Philly for about 30 plus years now.
The commercial market is in good shape.
No, I need to be in control of everything. I'm a control freak.
This like guy that went viral in Louisiana, he's like a car salesman, and he just puts these gross videos and like,
Oh my
but he's
God.
hysterical.
Okay.
And then I had like this like famous prostitute from Las Vegas.
Shut
She
up.
was like on TV. And
Shut up.
Yeah.
How the hell did you get her on your
But no
show?
one knew. She was old. Like nobody really
Aww.
knew like who she was. I just asked her, and she's like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
So what's your occupation? She said, oh,
She said she's a legal prostitute.
Oh, she straight up said it.
Yeah. No, this lady was like famous on HBO on a TV show back in.
Shut up. I saw it, the blonde one.
Funny, yeah.
The blonde one on this, not after the Soprano thing.
Yeah.
She was the prostitute.
Yeah.
Shut up. Stop. I was watching the videos today because I was trying to get a vibe of like what I'm allowed to say, what I can't say.
Right,
I'm like,
and then I was like,
curse.
is Instagram going to take, because they took her down at one point. So I'm like, are they going to take that down? But they didn't.
Perfect.
Oh.
Let's just keep it going. Natural. Oh my God. Let's just
Sorry,
keep the
that's
combo
good.
going.
All right, so we're live.
Oh, dear
Welcome
God.
to the In Your Home podcast. I'm going to let our guest introduce herself.
My name is Francesca Decotis, from South Philly, right?
Born there?
Born and half raised.
Yeah, phrased.
I moved to Montreal when I was 13.
Okay, how'd you get
Am I
to
supposed to say that?
Yeah, no. How did you get to Montreal from South Philly?
All
That's
right,
a
so what
interesting-
happened was my mom and dad met in Wildwood when they were like 17,
Okay.
fell in love, wrote each other letters for like 3 years, and then all of a sudden my dad was like, you know what? I don't want to write letters anymore. I'm going to go move to Philadelphia. So he moved to South Philly with my mom. They had 6 kids, married 40 years, been together for a hot minute. And then we decided to move to Montreal when I was like, it wasn't my decision at all whatsoever. I was like 13. It was my mother and father's decision to move to Montreal. So I moved when I was 13. I came back when I was 18. And yeah, then I got roped back into South Philly living.
So if you live in Montreal, is like Wildwood like the vacation spot to go to?
I mean,
Like, how do people know about Wildwood, New Jersey?
oh my God, I
From
thought South
Montreal.
Philly, I feel like, I feel like a lot of Canadians go to Wildwood in the summertime
Yeah.
and they just like met in like, whenever the frig they met back in the day. And then, yeah, they met in Wildwood at some club. They always told, oh my God, what was it called? What was it called? Sun, I don't know what it was. And the rest is history. Yeah, but it's so funny because people are like, oh, you're so South Philly, you're so South Philly. And I'm like, so South Philly? I'm like, I literally moved when I was 13 to 18, which I think about it all the time because like my son's 15 and I'm like, if I picked you up and moved you across the country in like your most formative years, I feel like, and then I came back at 18, like, oh shit, sorry. I'm allowed to curse. We already established that. I'm allowed to curse on the podcast. So I feel very comfortable. But
Get it in there.
hold on, my AD day, I got to go back to the question. What was it again?
The Montreal, the 13 to 18.
13, 18, yeah. So I came back when I was 18. And yeah, then that's just been rocking and rolling in South Philly. Rocking and rolling in South Philly, I just said. That came out of my mouth. How cheap. Okay. How cheap. Oh my. All right, continue. Let's go.
So how did you like Montreal compared to
Honestly,
compared to Philly?
All right, so this is the truth. When I was younger, I was shell-shocked. I despised it. I was like, F this place. Like, I don't want to be here. I just want to go back to Philly. Then when I got older, I'm like, I fucking love Montreal. I wish I never moved back. Da-da-da-da, blah, 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 whatever. But now, because I'm older, I have kids. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I would have stayed in Montreal. But I do love being able to go back and forth. Like, I will always, like, South Philly is my home. It will always be my home. But Montreal, it's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And then I saw on your videos you were there.
I was there and I
you
didn't
were
want to
there.
leave.
You didn't want to leave. And I go. So I go for Christmas. Sometimes I go for Easter. I go for the whole summer. It is beautiful. It's a whole different world there.
Yeah.
It's a whole different. You could eat off the friggin' ground. Like the food. The people aren't. The people aren't that nice. I'm
Yeah,
not sorry if that's really bad. I mean, not the people. I love the people. What do you mean? I live. I just. They're not as friendly. I feel like Philly people are a little bit more.
I went to
if that makes
the Montreal
sense.
Canadiens hockey game.
Yeah, I see.
Alone.
You went alone?
And I felt that they were like, they just were not.
They're not
friendly.
Thank
people.
you. Okay,
Like,
all right. So this
I'd
is
say,
how,
excuse me, and they just gave me a look.
This
They're
is
like,
how I put it. So I remember walking down the street with my son, and like in Philly, you walk by somebody, you say hi, how you doing, whatever. Especially if this there's a baby, oh, cute, whatever. In Canada, they don't even hold the door open for you. They're just like all about them. Like, I don't want to say all about themselves because that sounds really rude because I have so many people in Montreal that I love. I feel like I'm talking so much shit. I'm not talking about them. Not talking about you guys in Canada. I'm talking about Canadians. Sorry. I'm just going to say it. They're not as friendly as South Philly. I feel like we're just a whole different breed of people though, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm not from South Philly, but
I feel like you have the vibe though.
Yeah.
Like, I
well,
feel
my
like you have the South
dad,
Philly vibe.
I don't think he's was born there, but he lived there for many years throughout his childhood.
Where? Which part? Or which street?
I don't remember, but I remember when I was really young, he used to take me there to see his grandma.
Mm-hmm.
They had plastic furniture, and the toy that I was given was a ceramic donkey on a string, and I used to love going there for the ceramic donkey on a string. Which now
you don't know this. You don't know the little hood they were.
I can find out. I don't know exactly.
I lived on 17th and Rittner. And then I moved to Canada, and then I came back, and now I'm on I guess you shouldn't put your address out there on the internet. I'm such an open book that I'll be like, I live right here. I drive this car. Here's my social security. I have no filter. So I had everybody, I only told a couple people I was going here because I was nervous that I was going to just totally fuck it up. So I'm like, what do I do? What do I say? And I'm they were whatever you do, just don't say every single thing that comes to your mind. And I'm like, that is so hard to do because I have no fucking filter. But yeah, so I used to live on 17th and Rittner. Don't live there anymore. But I live 3 blocks away from it.
So 3 blocks away from where you grew up?
Yeah. I didn't get further from where I grew up. I'm
Okay.
literally
Well, that's what I find. People that live in South Philly never.
Yeah, you just move a little bit further from where you grew up at, I feel like.
Yeah. So when you were in Canada, did you learn French?
I feel so bad. I think about this too. I had a tutor. I feel so bad. It's a sin because I wish I could go to him and apologize so much. I randomly think about him. He was this tutor that used to have to come to my class and personally get me and my sisters to go to this French tutoring 101. And I remember at least 3 times a week, I would just duck out of the classroom and he would have to literally go around the high school and try to find me because I'm fuck this. I don't want to talk French. But now that I'm older, I do regret not learning the language because I think speaking another language is so sick. I think that's such a cool thing to be just bilingual, trilingual. And when my dad speaks Italian, French, and English, and I'm like, you son of a bitch! You couldn't just teach us Italian or French or something. You know what I mean? My sister, a lot of my family still lives in Montreal. I'm the only one in South Philly. Okay. My whole family still lives in Montreal. I'm the only asshole that came back. Yeah. I'm the only one that came back, but they're all still in Montreal. And my one sister, she speaks fluent. We'll go through the drive-thru and she'll order her Tim Hortons in French, and I look at her and I'm like, "You beautiful bitch! I am so jealous," because she speaks the French, and then she'll speak to her father-in-law in Italian, and I'm like, I'm so fucking jealous of you. Yeah. Oh, and I feel so fucking stupid because I'm I barely speak English, and you're speaking 3 different languages. I think that's so sick. And that's why I regret, I just want to apologize to that tutor that used to have to teach me. He used to have to, I feel bad. I would see him in the hall and I would just run all around the high school because I was I refuse. It was weird. I thought if I learned French, I was never going to be able to go back to Philly. It was the weirdest thing. I was I can't commit to living in Montreal. I'm never going to go back to South Philly. It was so fucking weird. It was I was betraying South Philly. It made no fucking sense, but yeah.
When I was there, I went on a date with somebody who...
Shut up.
She had just moved like when I went to Montreal, whenever that was.
Okay.
6 months ago, maybe.
Okay.
She was from France, like some weird island of France, like beautiful weird island, and spoke French. And she didn't speak much English, but she spoke some English.
How did you
go
on a date with her? Like a translator?
Google Translate.
No way!
But the worst part was like when the waiter came who spoke French, like they would say stuff and like laugh and like look at me, and I'm like, they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So I'm like, why can't we learn other like they teach you other languages, but like not till you're like in high school. Like why not just
exactly. My son's actually learning. He goes to Roma in high school. He's learning Italian right now, and he's also going to Italy for 3 weeks in the summer. And I'm like, you better listen to every fucking thing that Italian teacher's saying. I'm like, pick up the language so when you go to Italy, you could speak Italian. And he's actually taking it serious, or maybe he's just jerking me off and not. But I feel like I'm like, if you're gonna learn Italian, like you're going to Italy for 3 weeks. He's going. I'm like, learn the language, like benefit, do what you can from it. Especially how much the fucking tuition is. I'm like, at least learn whatever the fuck they're teaching now, But
okay, so South Philly. So my first question for you about South Philly is why Philadelphia's a city and it's not that big of a city.
Really not.
So why do people in South Philly have a total different accent than people in pretty much any other part of the city?
It's crazy. I never thought about having an accent until I went back. I started posting videos on like TikTok real randomly, like a couple months ago. And I never thought about an accent until obviously, when I moved to Montreal, I guess, I definitely was like, stood out in the crowd because I'm like American and they're Canadian and they talk real proper or whatever. But it wasn't until people were commenting, like when I say like my daughter, and they're like daughter, and I'm like, daughter, what am I supposed to, like, it's my daughter, and they're like daughter, D-O-W, whatever, and I'm like, fuck off. Like, I don't know if we really have, do we really have that big of an accent? Like, I guess we do, maybe.
It's like part accent and part like
attitude,
grammar, or like the way it's said.
I think it's part accent, part attitude. I think it's how I think like there are people in South Philly that do speak English, and then there's people in South Philly that put like I can't say swag, how cheap. There's like a slang that they put on their accent. You know what I mean? Maybe make it a little bit more like make it like more personal. I feel like some people talk, I don't know, like with their style. Does that make sense? Am I like totally talking?
No, I'm trying to figure it out myself. It's definitely different though. It's not the same as other places. It's not like the word, like water.
Water, yeah.
I feel like everybody
water
in Philly says that, but it's the phrases and the
yeah.
And
that's
like,
one thing.
Are people tougher in South Philly than
that? Is one fucking thing I do not agree with. I think that not, you know what? I'm gonna get bashed for this. It's not that people in South Philly are tougher.
Or they like
deal
with more crap.
Yeah,
than
I
other
feel
people.
like we definitely deal. But I also, it's not that necessarily that we deal with it. I think that we put ourselves in this situation to have to deal with it. Like I feel like we, like, all right, for instance, in Montreal, nobody beeps their horns at anybody. Nobody, nobody yells if their coffee's taking too long at Starbucks. Like nobody causes any drama. In Montreal, they're all just like, shut up and wait. They don't care. Like they're not rushing. Here, I'm like, where the fuck's my coffee? Like, come on, let's go. I'm beeping the horn at everybody. I have no patience. I feel like it might just be, like, I think it's just the pace of, like, life. I feel it's, like, the way that I think it's just we're a different breed. I will say that. I think South Philly is a whole different breed. It's a whole different bubble of its own. But, wait, what was the question again? The ADD just takes over everything.
Do people from South Philly tolerate more, or
just
deal with more?
I feel like South Philly. I feel like they have to come off more tough. Does that make sense?
I don't even know if it's tough.
Not tough.
It's more just like if like
street or
somebody
something.
did something to you, like insulted you.
I usually just laugh at all.
In South Philly, I feel like you would just laugh at all.
I would laugh at it. I would probably laugh with them.
But in
like absolutely.
other parts of Philly, they would go on TikTok and write how like this particular person insulted me, and like I don't know.
That is true. I get what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean,
and like from my childhood, like with my dad who was part from South Philly, if like something wasn't working out and I complained about it, he would be like do it better. Like, he wouldn't like.
Yeah, no, you're right. I guess it's more of like I feel like I feel like Philly is a little bit, I don't want to say, I hate the word competitive. I don't want to say competitive. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like all the guys want to be tough. All the girls, I don't know. I can't, I don't want to say that. I'm trying to think of what I'm about to say and it not be rude. Hold on. How can I put this in a sentence? I feel like South Philly is very, like we are in our own little bubble, but I feel like it's just a different generation today. I feel like we have to be tougher. I feel like we have to be a certain way because it's not like back in the day where you could do and say whatever the fuck you wanted and there wasn't cameras all over the place and you, every 2 steps, you know, you weren't videoed and on Snapchat and all this bullshit. Like you could do and say whatever you wanted. Today, every single thing you do, I feel like is magnified. Yeah. And I feel like that has nothing to do with Philly. That's just a total general statement I just said. So I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. Hold on. South Philly, tough people. No, I think it's, yeah. I mean, I feel like we're like forced to feel like we have to be maybe more tougher than certain areas, but I think that's also like a facade sometimes. Am I like
could be. No, it
I don't want to get in trouble for saying that. I feel like some people put on a front. There are people that I feel like, all right, like I wouldn't fuck with you. And then there's people that I'm like, you're fronting. Like that's a front. Like you're not as tough as you act. And I kind of skeeve it a little bit. Like, I feel like that's like, I'm embarrassed for you, you know? Like, I feel like just be yourself. You don't got to be that tough. It's totally cool if you're not like this big badass. Like, just simmer the fuck down and just be yourself, you know? That's just how I feel with everybody. I don't even know if that was the question you asked me.
It was a perfect answer.
Wait, so what? I have to get like brought back to what the question was because my brain just goes in 15 different directions. It's awful.
What are like some things you remember growing up when you were younger in South Philly that like stand out?
You know what's so wild is that everything I did when I was younger, like my son's 15 and he's hanging out at the same places I used to hang out, and I'm like, this is so fucking crazy that you're not necessarily the same thing. I mean, he's a boy, and I came from a very, very strict, like my family. I love my parents more than life, but my dad's off the boat. My mom is, I lived across the street from St. Monica Church. Like we literally were very strict Catholic, like family. Catholic or Christian? Shut the fuck up. Catholic. I'm sorry. Catholic. Holy shit. Like church every Sunday. Like I was like 18 years old with like a 10 o'clock curfew. And like all my friends could stay out all night, have boyfriends now. My parents were like the strictest. But my son, I let him do whatever the fuck he wants. Cause he's also a straight A student. He's a really good kid. Yeah. So, whatever. But what the fuck was the question? What do I remember of my childhood? I remember being punished a lot. I remember I was always punished. I was punished majority of my life, to be honest with you. And I remember when I would be able to go like out into the world, which was like school. Really, it was literally just school, which I ended up getting kicked out like twice. But that was when I was the craziest, when I was in school, because that was the only time that I wasn't that I wasn't locked up. Exactly. And that's why it's funny, because like my parents were so strict. Once I had my kids, that's when I got like a newfound respect for my parents, because I was like, holy shit, you had to deal with a lot. Plus you had 6. God bless. That's certifiably insane. Like I have 2 and I want to, like I have 2 kids and I want to lose my fucking mind. But I was such a bad kid. I was just not necessarily bad. I always had a good heart, but I was just rambunctious. Like I couldn't sit still, ADD, all over the place. But holy shit, what the fuck was the question?
I forget now.
I'm sorry, because my ADD is going to rub off on you. It's so bad because I'm so scatterbrained.
Did you have it when you were younger? Were you diagnosed with ADD, or you just?
The teachers called my mom and they were like, so I always had really good grades. Like I was always like, even now, like I'm in school for nursing. I was always on the honor society or whatever, but I was always just rambunctious. Like I couldn't sit still. So the teacher calls my mom and was like, the teacher called my mom and was like, you might have to, Francesca needs special, whatever it is. And my mom used to tell me, my dad would always say it too. My dad would be like, Francesca either needs to get looked at or something along those lines. Like she needs medication. And my mom would always be like, no, she's just hyper. And my dad would be like, no, something's up with Francesca. And it wasn't until I was like, what, like 18, 19, that I was like, all right, I think something's wrong here. Like, I'm like, I don't know if my brain's as normal as everybody else's. So then they were like, yeah, here's some medication that I fucking despise. I hate it, even though I need it, but I hate it. I
No, because like millions of people years ago had it, and they just said,
yeah,
hyper.
But it's, you know, it's crazy. It's honestly some people like, cause I hate it. I can't even, obviously you could see, I can't even finish a fucking conversation without being like, would you say every 30 seconds? But some people are like, oh, ADHD is a superpower. And I'm like, in what fucking world is ADHD a superpower? It is the most obnoxious thing to have. Because I'm like, I just wish I could be semi-normal, you know? Just have like a semi-normal combo without going off into like 45 different places.
It's good for a podcast. Makes it less for me to say.
That's the problem too. Like, you'll ask me one question
and I get
you'll
10
be like,
answers.
You'll be like, what color's the sky? And we'll end up talking about like, I don't know, like, oh, I had pizza for lunch. It's my brain is so fucking random. And I'm like, it needs to be studied and dissected because something it's either super wrong or super right. And I just there's no in between. I'm either like completely off or, you know, completely on. Yeah, it's horrible. I fucking hate it.
What do you said you're in nursing school? Is that like your job? Like, is that what you're
my job
preparing to do? Or do you have a job also?
You know, I don't really think I have one job. I feel like, so I bartend, I'm in school, but I'm also a stay-at-home mother, but I'm also on TikTok. I'm like, what exactly is my occupation? I don't really know. It depends the day. It depends the day. Like, so that's another thing. I mean, I think I switched my major. Like, I think I could legitimately say that my occupation would be like a professional student. I have been in school for so fucking long. It doesn't make sense. Like, I should be the principal at this point. I've been in school for, like, I have so many credits. Mm-hmm. So I have my associates in health and sciences. And then I was like, you know what, let me just go back for nursing. And I started nursing, and then I lost my mind because it is absolutely the hardest thing I think I've ever done. I cried every single day, and I was like, I think I need a little break. Okay. I think I need, like, I was doing great. It's like they break nursing down in like 4, it's like lecture, lab, seminar, clinical. And the clinical, seminar, lab, I was like, I had like a 98 in all the classes. The lecture, where you have to listen and actually like, it wasn't marinating. There was nothing I could do. There was no amount of study. It just was not marinating in my brain. And I'm like, I can't do this. I can't. And I literally had to like take a step back, and I was like, all right, I'll start again next year. So now I have to start in May, which fucking sucks.
So how long's the total?
Sucks. I have another like 2 years left. Okay. Yeah. It literally sucks. So I have 3 months to figure out a way to
get back into it.
Get back into it, or, you know, become a millionaire overnight. It's one or the other. I have to figure out something, because it is I give big respect to nurses, and holy shit, I don't know how the fuck you do it. But the funniest thing, actually, because I'm like, you know how they were doing the whole TikTok ban thing? Yes. It's funny. Okay, I should have started that before I said this. Hold on, what was I about to say? The TikTok ban. The TikTok ban. Okay, so this is what happened. All right. So my first job originally, what I went to school for, was esthetician. Okay. The whole thing will come back. I have to take you back to take you where I'm at. This is the way I talk. It's awful. So all right. So what happened was I went to school for esthetician. I'm like, all right, I want to do this. This was like 2019, right? I'm like, I want to go to school to become an esthetician. I feel like, you know, whatever. So I graduate. I get my dream job. When I tell you, it was 2 blocks away from where I lived. Every morning I would get my Starbucks. I had my scrubs on. I go to the, you know, my little office, whatever. I started work as an esthetician Valentine's Day, February 14 of 2020. Mm-hmm. 1 month later, COVID happens, and the entire fucking world shuts down, okay? So I finally figured out what I wanted to do in my life, went to school, paid my own way, you know, did everything, got my dream job, and the world shuts down. And I'm like, Francesca Decotis finally figured out what she wanted to do with her life. And 1 month later, the entire world shuts down. So then, fast forward, you know, a couple years, I'm like, my one friend was like, oh, you should go back on TikTok. You could sell all this shit, whatever. I'm like, all right. So I go back on TikTok. I start doing little videos here and there. And my one video really picks up, and I was like, oh, wow, like I did really well on the one video.
What was it? Like,
it was one of the Mailies and the Makeup Forever brand. Like, it was, for the 1 month,
or like people
they
bought
sent
it
me,
right
they buy it from my link. They sent me the product. I remember I was actually in Montreal when I made the video. My mom was cooking dinner in the background. I'm like, let me make this video real quick. I was like, I got to do it real quick. I had nothing. I put it up. I did the video in like 3 minutes. I like rubbed it on my stuff. I'm like, this is the best, because it really did work. I'm not just saying that. Just it was this cream that really genuinely did work, and I put no thought into the video whatsoever, and it blew up, and I made a really good chunk of. I'm embarrassed to say the amount, but I was like, holy shit. And then there was another product, another company, Makeup Forever, sent me, and that video blew up too. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, you could really make money on TikTok. The TikTok ban. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. This is not happening again. I'm like, the world shut down on my first career. I'm like, my second, I'm like, there's no fucking way this is happening. So I'm like, thank God that it didn't get banned. But now it's funny because I'm
still like, it still might get banned.
Exactly. I know. Well, that's the other thing. So now TikTok's. So I just want to publicly apologize for TikTok getting banned, because it's my fucking fault. Because now I finally, make something on TikTok, and now TikTok's getting banned. So it's because I started being.
I was making. TikTok was paying me directly.
Okay. Yeah, because you have you're in the creator fund.
I'm in the creator fund. I made like anywhere from like $9 a month to 125.
I made 15,000 in 1 month.
On the creator fund?
Not on the creator fund.
Through like a brand
through
or
the
product.
brand, yeah. 15. I was
That's
like, what
what
the fuck? And I did it on 2 videos, and I'm like, this is pretty legit. But I don't have the creator fund yet. But apparently I heard if you're in the creator fund that you don't, they limit your videos or something. Apparently a lot of people say that if you go in the creator fund, they like, so they don't have to pay you kind of thing, which I think is kind of bullshit.
They like only pay you on ones over a minute, and then even like some of them they say they're disqualified.
Yeah, oh my God.
Stuff you don't even know.
So there's this one video, it actually broke my fucking heart. This girl was so excited that her video got like, I think it was like 15 million views, and it got disqualified. And I was like, that is awful. And then even like the TikTok thing, there was the same exact palette. The palette that I made all the money on, it was the Makeup Forever palette, and they said you were supposed to get paid a certain amount during the Christmas time. They added an extra bonus on top, but then the video went viral, and I was supposed to make this bonus. They never. And the thing that sucks about TikTok is when you go to talk to them, it's all AI. It's all fucking AI. Nobody's a human being on the other side. It doesn't. You're literally talking to robots, so you're talking to yourself. So it's bullshit. But yeah.
So real estate.
Oh my God.
For real estate purposes.
What?
Do you own the house you live in?
I not personally, but yeah.
But okay. So, have you lived there how long have you lived there? 8
years now. Yeah.
So like
I'm near like can I say where I live? Can I say?
You don't have to. It doesn't matter.
What area? Street?
What,
I feel like
what
I'm like
section
so
of South Philly is it? Not the street, like
nothing. Like not the street. So I'm near like a couple, like near like Chickies and Pete's.
Okay.
I'm like literally 2 blocks away from Chickies and Pete's.
So if like you went to sell your house tomorrow, how much do you think?
That is why I was nervous. I have not a fucking clue about real estate. I'm not going to lie to you. And I was like, I was so nervous because I'm like, if he asks me anything about real estate.
No, we don't do a lot of real estate.
Except the fact that people tell me you should be a real estate agent. And I'm like, absolutely. I don't know if I could do that because they would be running out of the house. They'd be like, what the fuck are you saying? Get away from me. I'm like, I don't. Yeah, a lot of people would be like, you should go in the real estate. And I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. I'm like, I feel like that's like a. I think that it's a sick job to have. I think it's like badass. But like, how long have you been a realtor for?
Almost 7 years.
Do you love it?
I do like it as a job. I like because like every day is different.
Yeah, now that's why I think I would like it because I don't think I could ever do a 9 to 5. I genuinely love like the whole hustle thing of it.
But like that part I like. The part I don't like is like. You start to feel like you're the smartest person in the world, even if you're not smart. Okay. Because some of the people you deal with are not, and you're like, wow, maybe I'm smarter than I thought I was years ago. I got like B's and C's in school, but like, how are these people this dumb? Like things, and like, you start like thinking in your head, like, am I like,
are
what's
you the
wrong?
smartest person in the room? And that's
I'm
not
either a
always the
genius
best.
or like, so like
that's
between
hysterical.
other agents you deal with sometimes that like you can't believe they even have this job and clients that like do the stupidest things and you're like how do they, but I do meet like great people so like it goes both ways but I do like how it's just different every day.
I think that's why
like
I
I
love
couldn't
it so
sit.
much.
I don't have ADD, but like I could not sit at like a desk all day.
You know, it's funny. I used to work at, speaking of sitting at a desk, I used to work at Jefferson Hospital, and this was my first legitimate 9-to-5 job. I was like 19. I was 20 years old. I just had my son, and I was at the 9-to-5, and you had to swipe your card in and swipe it out during lunch and all that bullshit. And I remember we were in our little cubicles, and there was this one girl that had worked there for 25 years, okay? 25 years in the same exact cubicle every single day, saying the same exact thing. Hi, what's your name? Does your insurance card? The doctor will be right with you. Hi, what's your name? Insurance card, doctor will be with you. Whatever. So I remember I just looked at her one day, and it wasn't just about her. It was just in general. I just felt like a robot. And I just remember they were like, it was our lunch break at 12 o'clock. And I remember like taking my kids' pictures and just walking right out of Jefferson. Like I wasn't even up. My probationary period didn't even hit. I think it was like your first 90 days. I think I was like, I didn't even make it to 2 months. I literally just walked out during my lunch break. They're calling me like, where'd you go? I'm like, I quit. I can't. I felt like such a robot. And that was what I know I could not do a 9-to-5. Like I just knew it had to be, I mean, I could do, a job every day, but it had to be something different where I didn't feel like I was reading off a script you know what I'm saying? And I do give credit to people that could do that, because my brain would blow up. I can't. But yeah, I respect the hustle of real estate.
Yeah,
agent.
I like it.
You know,
I like it.
Props to you. Yeah.
Thank you. Is there something you don't like about living in South Philadelphia?
Oh, I don't know.
See, this is what I mean. Everything just rolls off.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like besides the fact that everybody knows everything, or everybody knows I mean, I do love that everybody knows everybody. Okay. Yeah. I love that everybody knows everybody. I also hate that everybody knows everybody, if that makes sense. Because I feel like people just make up their own shit and they have no fucking idea what they're talking about, but they'll run with it. You know what I'm saying? That's the shit that I just don't. I think that's why I'm literally such, like, I don't leave my house. Like, I'm such like a hermit crab. Because I have like my like one friend, and like I genuinely like, I have like my sisters are my best friends, and I have like my one friend. I just don't, I genuinely, I love South Philly more than anything, but I just feel like, but I guess that could be anywhere really. I just like the whole gossipy nature. Is that?
No, I think it's more there.
Right?
I shouldn't say that. I don't know about the gossip, but it's I feel like everybody does know.
But I do. I love. But the thing I love about everybody knowing everybody is that people look out for each other. So I do love that everybody knows everybody. But it's like a blessing and a curse kind of thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, kind of, sort of. You know.
Are all like your services, I should say, that like you go to like where you get your hair done, the doctor, the dentist, are they all in South Philly?
So,
because I find that's usually the case.
So I feel like some of the doctors are like more center city,
Okay.
but I will say I don't go far. I mean, I also will say that I very rarely go to the doctor. Like, it's actually awful. My mom's like, you need to go to the doctor. I'm like, I'll sleep it off. I'm totally fine. Like, I'm the worst when it comes to like doctors and shit. But my nails, South Philly. My hair, I don't get done. I get my hair done at Montreal. My sister's
You go to... You travel to Montreal for your hair?
I only get my hair done like once a year. My sister, or twice a year. My sister owns a salon in Montreal. Okay. And I could wholeheartedly say I've never been to a salon in South Philadelphia. I only get my hair done it looks like trash today because my sister didn't do it. Obviously, she's in Montreal, but she owns a salon in Montreal. So I get it done. I feel like I can't get it done in Philly because I feel like I'm like, not that she gives a fuck. She could care less, but I'm like... She's been doing my hair since I was like 12 years old. I can't go to anybody else. I'm like such a loyal person. I'm like, no. So I've never been to a South Philly salon, which is weird.
If you're cooking a steak dinner for your family, where do you go to get the steak?
Talking about a steak dinner, I could cry. So I literally cook steak at least 3 nights a week. And I just found out that my fiance fucking hates steak. We've been together for like a decade.
Does he eat it?
Do you know he eats it like? And I'm like, do you know? Okay, so I don't know if I could say this. I don't know if this is going to get. So we did a couple shrooms, right? And we finally like had like a like not finally. I randomly I looked at him and I'm like, because I started this like microdose, not now right now. I mean, not obviously not now, but this whole microdosing thing. They're like, it's good for anxiety because I have the worst anxiety in life. Like, there's nobody who has worse anxiety than I do. So people are like, oh, you got to smoke weed, you got to do this, and I'm like, I don't even look at weed. It makes me a schizo. Get the fuck away from me. Can't do that. I tried it, can't do it. I'm like, my doctor, nothing works for me. So at this point, I'm so desperate to do anything I possibly can. So they were like, oh, try this microdosing. So anyways, I try it. And I'm sitting there and I look at him and I'm like, so if you had to pick, one meat or something that you had to eat, it was the randomest fucking question. I'm like, if you had to pick one meat that you had to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be? He was like, well, it definitely wouldn't be steak. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? He's like, well, steak's like my least favorite meat. I said, what the fuck did you just say?
And you've been eating it.
You would have thought Jesus Christ came down. I said, I was like, what? I make steak 3 nights a fucking week. I was so heartbroken. He's like, yeah, but I still eat it. I'm like, but that doesn't, what do you mean? I'm like, I literally, anyways, the whole point of your story, the answer to your question is I get my steak at Lombardi. Okay.
The butcher.
That is the butcher, Lombardi's, yes.
So that's something also I feel like it's South Philly.
South Philly, yeah. Lombardi's, my son actually, because he's starting to work there soon. So I go to Lombardi's for all, like, at my chicken cutlets, my meat, everything. And the funniest, speaking of butcher, I posted a video. I went to like some random butcher when I was in school. This is like back in, I don't know when it was, maybe like September, October, whatever. I go to this butcher and it was like just such an outlandish price what I paid for this, for the I think it was like chicken cutlets and something. So I make a video on TikTok. I put no thought into this. I literally, when you just like do it real quick and you put your phone down. I did it real quick. I was like, what the fuck? Chicken cutlet, da-da-da. Took a video, put it down, whatever. I get out of my car. All of a sudden, I put my phone down. I picked it up a couple hours later. It got like all these comments, all these views. That's Lombardi's. And I'm like, Lombardi's? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? It's not. I was like, I live at Lombardi's. I'm like, I'm at Lombardi's 3 times a week. This wasn't Lombardi's. So now everybody's like, that's Lombardi's, that's Lombardi's. And I'm like, where are they getting that it's Lombardi's from? And then I look at the video and I'm like, oh my God, because it's in Packer Park and Lombardi's is in Packer Park. Yeah. I'm like, this is how people... And that really taught me such a big lesson. I'm like, this is where people really make up their own shit. Like, people really make up their own stories that this, whatever. So then I go to Lombardi's after this video blows up. Now everybody's like, that's Lombardi's. And I'm like, yes, I love Lombardi's. I'm like, no, that's not Lombardi's. I love Lombardi's. I'm there 4 times a week, whatever the case was. Because it looked like I was talking shit about Lombardi's. Literally, when I tell you, it looked like I was talking shit, but it wasn't. It was just, I lived there. I lived right, like, you know what I mean? Whatever. So I go to Lombardi's like a week later and I walk in and my heart's pounding because I'm like, how do I tell them like it? And so I walk in and they're like, oh, we saw your video. And I'm like, I am going to fucking crawl under a rock right now. I'm like, it wasn't you guys. I'm like, it was another butcher. I'm like, this is so mortifying. I'm like, I live right there. I'm like, this is so cheap. But anyways, the whole point of your question is, the answer to your question is I buy my meat at Lombardi's butcher. Yes.
So if your fiance like went and got a steak at Acme, would you know the difference if he served it to you?
I honestly have no idea. I just love steak so much. I could eat steak every single night. I could eat filet. Me and my son, my daughter, we could eat. I could eat filet. I love steak. Do you love steak? I mean, I do
love steak.
I love
when
filet.
I was little, so like my dad must have lived in South Philly for a while and was used to a butcher. So like we'd have steak dinner my mom would make, and she got it like at Acme or some supermarket.
I don't think it's any. Yeah,
he would know instantly
really?
And like yell at her, and it was like. And I had 2 brothers, and we used to have the worst dinners. And then she would start, because I guess there wasn't a butcher where we lived. You had to travel to get to the butcher.
I mean, I guess you can. Yeah, I guess you could tell.
She would lie and say it was, and he would like no, and like
that's so funny. Yeah,
so, I guess I remember that.
Maybe you can. Yeah, I guess maybe you could tell the difference from a butcher. I mean, I guess that's the whole point of a butcher, because it's. Like,
it's supposed to be better.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's funny.
But like if I had to go to a butcher, like where I live in Northern Liberties. I don't even know if there is
one.
You
live in Northern Liberties?
Yeah,
it's nice there.
I like it.
Yeah. How long have you been there?
2 years.
Were you in? Where were you before that?
Out in the suburbs, like an Ambler area.
See, that's where it's crazy. I want to move to like Jersey or any type of like, I'm really, it's funny because when I was younger, my mom, and this is me rambling again, my mom used to always be like, I want to move to the countryside. I want to move to the country. And I'm like, you're a fucking weirdo. Who the fuck wants to move to the countryside? And now that I'm like older and my kids and everything, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to move to the country. I want to move to the country so bad. As much as I love and adore this city, I'm like, I want to just move to the country. I want to like, do you ever watch Yellowstone? Mm-hmm. I am fucking obsessed. I am obsessed when they walk out the house and all you see is the mountains and the fucking water and the little birds and like the green grass. And I'm like, oh my God, that looks fucking gorgeous. Like, I just want to live in a mountain house. And I'm like, I call my mom and I'm like, I'm literally turning into you. I'm like, I used to come at my mom's neck. I'd be like, you weirdo, you want to move to the country. Like, what's wrong with you? And now I'm like, I will die in the country. I promise you, whenever I make it, I will move to the countryside because I feel like it's just so peaceful and like serene, and you don't get that in South Philly. You can't get that. No, in South Philly.
I've done both, and I get bored in the country.
See, now that's my thing
like
too.
I go and then I would come back.
I think I'd go stir crazy. Like I like I think the thing is I like the idea of like the peace and tranquility, but I feel like after 3 days I'd be like, all right, let's go back home.
Yeah,
like I need to
in
go
a
get
year, you might be
a gallon of milk at like the corner, and you can't, the whole driving thing. But I do. I think the older I get, I think I really like the country or like the suburbs. I'm a weirdo. I am.
Are you an Eagles fan?
Yeah. Any Philly team, really. I feel like, I'm not like a diehard. Don't ask me any
Are
players.
you doing anything for the Super Bowl?
Probably
no
not.
plans.
I don't know. We just go with the flow of whatever's going on that day. I mean, normally, yeah, probably.
Let me ask you some more stuff. So, what's your favorite restaurant in Philadelphia?
Oh my God. Well, I have to say Noir on Passyunk Avenue because it's my family's restaurant.
I've heard of it. I haven't been there.
Oh my God, it's so good. You have to go. And when you go, say Francesca sent you.
Okay.
Dinner's on me.
So when you say your family, who's?
So it's my dad's brother.
Okay.
My Uncle Marco, yeah. My
So
Uncle Marco and my
he
Aunt
didn't go to
Donna.
Montreal.
He actually, so my dad has 7 brothers and 2 sisters. My dad's one of 9. So
Okay.
I'm one of 6. My dad's one of 9. They're fucking insane. I don't know how they do it. But when my dad moved to Philly, and then his 2 brothers ended up moving to Philly too.
Amazing.
And my Uncle Marco worked at my dad's restaurant. So then he opened up Noir on Passyunk. Yeah. So you got to check it out. It's right on Passyunk.
I'm going to have to go.
Yeah.
How about, what's your favorite pizza place in Philly?
Oh my God, I am obsessed with pizza. Oh, that's such a hard question. I love pizza. Oh, I could live off pizza. Oh, I don't know. I love them all. I will say, and this is going to sound so commercial because I know like Angelo's blew up because of the whatever video, who was it? Who was it?
The Barstool guy.
The Barstool guy, yeah. I will say Angelo's white pizza is fucking bomb.
Really?
I don't
Never
like their
had it.
cheese. You never fucking had it. What do you mean? All right. Well,
I'm not a big pizza eater, but I do have to go. I'm not.
Sorry, I probably just.
Everyone.
I don't know who I just yelled at. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. I never spoken to Mike before. Well, you don't like pizza?
No, I like it. I just eat
just
it
don't
and then I
love
feel
it.
horrible. So I don't do it.
I
a
always
lot.
feel horrible. My diet's literally just sugar.
I just had it last weekend
ice
and it
cream.
was bad pizza too. So I'm like, why
That
did I eat?
sucks. See, now that sucks. When you get a bad pizza, there's nothing worse than a bad pizza because it's literally bread and cheese. How the fuck do you fuck that up? But like, I could eat pizza, which is like, I could eat pizza every day, but my diet's also absolute trash. I think that's why I'm like, my anxiety and everything is so bad because I'm literally just living off of sugar and coffee. That's like just legit my diet. But pizza, my favorite white pizza would definitely be Angelo's, 100%. The white, only the white. I don't like the gravy and the cheese one. I don't like the regular pizza from Angelo's, even though everybody goes crazy over it. I'm not a fan. Just the way, and their cheesesteaks. Angelo's
Cheesesteak
cheesesteaks
is good?
are fucking banging. Oh my God, they're so. Angelo's cheesesteaks, yup, they are bangers.
Did you ever get a cheesesteak from the guy in South Philly
That was a bad one. Hold on.
Did you ever get a cheesesteak from the guy that makes them in their backyard?
She said, hey, we have a special guest. All right, sorry.
Did you ever have a cheesesteak from the guy who makes them in his backyard? In South
No,
Philly?
I just saw and I want to go so bad. I want to go so bad. Wait, what is it? It's called, what is it, Backyard?
Backyard Cravings? I think?
Backyard Cravings. Oh my God, I'm dying to go. Where's that at? Where's it at?
Somewhere in South Philly. I don't know.
Oh my God, I want to try it so bad. I just saw like his videos. I just saw his thing pop up. I'm dying to go.
How about soft pretzels? You like them? Do you have a place?
That is one thing I'm really not.
Not into it. Water ice?
Not that I'm not into it. Oh, water ice. Water ice. Let's talk about water ice. John's, let's talk about it. John's water ice. I feel like they need to endorse me at some point because
A sponsorship.
sponsor, is that the word? Yeah, sponsor. Sorry, I fucked it up. Not endorse. John's water ice needs to sponsor me because the amount of water ice that I buy when John's is open is it's worrisome. Like it's a little scary. Like we go every single day, and it's not a joke. This is not something I'm exaggerating. You could see, like, people could see it on my social media. It's actually grotesque. Not like the amount of water ice that I buy, that like even my kids are like, all right, enough, and I'm like, don't you dare tell me that it's enough. Like that's blasphemy. Like I live off of John's water ice. You can agree to that. Like she came to John's one day and I was like already in line. Like I am obsessed with John's water ice. Shout out John's water ice.
Is it like way better than any other water ice?
Holy shit. It's like they make their own. So you know what's crazy? I used to be a Pops girl, and I'm not talking shit about Pops. I would never talk shit about any business ever. That's one thing I don't do. But I used to be a real Pops girly, Pops water ice girl, and then I got introduced to John's, and then I like their I think their ice cream's homemade. Their water, oh my god, it's a mission for me to get there. It's pretty, because I'm like near Chickies and they're near like 9th and Christian. So it's a little bit of a bomb for me to get there. Like I got to get my car. I can't just walk. But then they did something which was beautiful. They got oh my god, a truck. They got a truck. They got a truck. They got
delivery.
They got a truck that they had like little mini John's trucks around the city, and they posted on their Instagram of the times that they're there, and they put the truck a block away from my house, and they made it so easy for me to get it. So then I was really getting it like oh my god, I was literally getting it every single day because it was so I couldn't. It was like my bedtime routine. Like, you know, the kids come home from school, you make dinner, take baths. All right, we're walking to John's every single night, literally at right near where like the Merlino's cheesesteaks are opening up. That's literally where they park their truck. And oh my god, every single. So yeah, the answer to that 20-minute question, the question he asked 20 minutes ago, John's water ice, 1,000%.
You better be a sponsor.
Oh my I am obsessed with John's water ice. It's so bad. It's actually embarrassing.
So your 15-year-old son, what does a 15-year-old do in South Philly?
Oh dear
today?
God. Oh my God. I mean, from what I know, it could be a whole different story, but from what I know, I mean, so my son is literally like the love of my life. He's 15. And my daughter, Layla, because she's going to be watching this, she's going to beat the shit.
I would say the same thing about my family, and I'd have to say the same thing.
And my daughter is also the love of my life. Sorry, I love you, Layla. We're just like, me and my daughter are just like, she's fucking insane. She's like having triplets. But my son is like, I think because I was younger when I had him, so I was like a whole different mom to my son than I was with my daughter. So like, and like a mother-son's love, I just feel like is so different. But my son is polar opposite of me. He's very like, doesn't speak unless spoken to. Very like reserved. Very, very mature. Very, very mature. Like people think he's like 25 and he's like, he just turned 15 a month ago. He's like 6'3". He plays for Roman basketball. He hit a 3-point game winner yesterday at the Roman game.
There's still basketball?
It was Roman basketball. It was an overtime. The game went into overtime twice, and he hit a 3-point shot and won the game.
Is it playoffs or just regular?
No, it's just I think he has like 4 more games of the season left, and then he plays for another basketball team. He just started high school. He's in 9th grade. Yeah, but he's good. I mean, I think I grew up in such a strict household, so I wasn't allowed to really do anything. I was kind of a little bit scared of my parents, so like I didn't really tell them anything. I wasn't open with them. I didn't have that kind of relationship. I mean, when I got older, now I tell my mom every fucking thing, every little thing I call my mom. But when I was younger, I didn't really have that relationship. Whereas my kids, I'm like, you're gonna tell me every fucking thing you do, and I'm gonna be your best fucking friend. And if God forbid, like, you know, you do this or do that, I'm your first phone call. Like, I don't want them to ever be like, I can't call my mom. Right. I want them to be like, I have to call my mom. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like with my son, we have such an open relation, like such a. Like, we're so comfortable. Like, I want him to be able to tell me everything, and I open up with him, you know, open up to him. So because I tell them all the time, I'm like, you will not, like, if you don't tell me the truth, this is my motto with everything. I'm like, if you do not tell me the truth today, tomorrow, in a week, that is one thing that me and God have like this connection, that like agreement. The truth always comes in my lap somehow. I don't know how. I don't go look for it. I don't look at phones. I don't look at passwords. I don't want it. I don't look for it.
Yeah.
Somehow, some fucking way, the truth lands in my lap. It's been like this since I was little. I'm like, I didn't even want to know that. How did that just, what? Like God, me and God just had this like contract. Like it's weird. Like the truth just gets in my lap somehow. So I tell my son that all the time. I'm like, you might get away with this. You might think you're getting away with that. I'm going to fucking find out. So he just like, he'll just tell me, which I love. So. But 15-year-old life, I don't know. I think just high school, gym. I would say gym, tan, laundry. I feel like that makes.
That's a good topic. Does everyone in South Philly get spray tanned?
I fucking skeeve a spray tan.
Oh, so do I.
I fucking skeeve, and I don't. Why this might be so controversial. I fucking skeeve a spray tan. I skeeve the smell. I skeeve the look. I skeeve the hands. I just skeeve it. I know it's better for like your skin and all that shit. I'll look like a shriveled raisin. I already do. It's fine. I fucking skeeve a spray tan.
It stains walls,
I
beds,
skeeve the smell. No.
And nobody seems to think it's a problem.
Okay, the look of it might be like, oh, very nice, like very cute, but like you fucking stink and you look like it's just, and I don't like the. Maybe just, you know what though? I'm not going to. I sound like a hater. I don't mean to sound like a hater. They look good on. I cannot pull off a spray tan. That's all I'll say. I can't pull off a spray tan no matter how hard I try. It's like in my hands, it gets like embedded, and I just skeeve, even though it's healthier apparently for you, which I don't buy that bullshit. It's still chemicals you're putting all over. I just don't like the look of it. But you also don't like the look of it.
So,
all right, another agreement.
No,
there we go. Let's
it's
get
not
it.
so much the look. Well, it is the look too, but it's, so I had a friend that, she like must have got spray tan and then like went to bed and had a humidifier on and the ceiling turned orange. So then that's one story.
What?
And then I guess I met someone once that like touched my wall.
Shut the fuck.
And the wall's orange and it doesn't come off. And
you got to use alcohol.
And
I feel like
I've heard like so many stories, but
hysterical.
everybody seems to get spray tan. And I'm like,
Nope.
So it kind of bothers me. I'm not a hater either, but like,
yeah, like I don't
think there's a better way to get
yeah,
tan.
like I feel like, and I'm not trying to be like that at all. I swear to God, like I just genuinely think that like they look good. Like I know a lot of people live off of spray tans, like they're weekly spray tans. I don't know if it's my skin. I don't know if it's because like I said, I only live off of sugar and I don't like drink water or whatever. But like it just doesn't look good on me. It doesn't look good on. I mean, it makes people look healthier because you have like a glow, but the stench and the fucking like having to be like walk around like a robot so it don't get all over on you.
I don't think
I
know
can't
the
do that.
smell.
No, I can't. It's just like I don't like it. And I also can't sit still long enough to make it dry. So I'll probably be one of those people that gets all over the walls and shit. No, I can't do that. That's wild about the humidifier.
It's hard to get off.
That's fucking crazy.
I think you have to repaint.
Shut up! I thought just like alcohol would get it over.
I mean, I haven't tried alcohol, but I use those. What are those white sponges?
The white eraser. They don't do shit.
They don't work.
They don't do balls. I do my walls, and I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, it's nice and clean, and then it dries 30 seconds later, and there's fucking marks all over my wall, and I'm like, I just got. Like I just got. I did my walls, and they look, and then they just The magic eraser works. Like I'll use it for my sneakers and shit, but I use it on my walls, and it just like you see all the fuck them things.
Yep.
Irks.
How about social media? What don't you like about social media? What do you like?
Oof. Oh my God, I have such a love-hate relationship with social media. I really do. I feel like there's so many things I could say about social media. I feel like it's such a blessing and a curse. Like such a blessing and a curse. Like, like I feel like back in the day, there wasn't this pressure to have like the nicest bag, the nicest cars, the nicest clothes. Nobody gave a fuck. I mean, yeah, we cared, but it wasn't like, oh, we got to post it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I just got this bag, I got to post it. I just got this car, I got these sneakers. Like, we just like did what we. But today, I feel like it's just such like a competition. That's why I laugh because I'm like, I don't wear name brand. I don't do this type of shit because I genuinely don't care, but I'm also old and washed up, so I genuinely don't give a fuck. But I'm like, I don't, like everybody likes nice things. Don't get me wrong. Everybody, likes nice things and all this type of shit. But I just feel like I feel like social media is such a comparison for certain people, I finally got, like, it took me, I think, I want to say the last 2 years that I finally got comfortable with myself enough to be like, I don't give a fuck.
That's what you have to get.
What anybody says about me anymore.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get there, though. I will
Yeah.
say that. It took me the last 2 years that I really, like, was like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to say I could care fucking less what anybody thinks about me. Like, that is, like, if it's not about my kids or about, like, the people that are, like, most important to me,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what you think of me or don't think of me. I genuinely don't give a shit. But, like, I do for the younger, like, you know, like my kids and, like, younger generation, it does break my heart because I feel like it makes everything harder. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it makes it harder for kids to, like, I saw, it broke my heart. Like 2 months ago, I saw this video that went viral of a kid getting bullied in high school, like, and they were in his face, and he was behind the pillar of the subway, and he's trying to hide, like, and his face is red, and every kid is just like has their phone up, and I'm watching the video, and my stomach dropped because I'm like, because the number one thing I say this to everybody, it's another rule of my life. I'm like, always put yourself in that person's shoes. I teach my kids that. I'm like, you always put yourself in the other person's shoes. Think about how you would feel if that was you, and that's exactly what I do every time I see any type of video, anything, and I'm like, this poor fucking kid, like, you already got in a fight, you know, on whatever fight, you know, you already got in a fight, and then instead, back in the day, you just get up, you walk away, people talk about it a couple days, and then it goes away. Now it's like, it's posted 35, it's viral, it's following you the rest of your life. It's fucking heartbreaking. Like, it's not just a regular little fist fight and you walk away. It's following you all over. And now this kid, I remember like somebody showed me the video and I was like, stop, get it out of my face. Cause I immediately thought about my son. I'm like, if that was happening, like, it just breaks my heart that, like, but then again, it's such a beautiful thing because my whole family is in, you know, Canada, and I FaceTime and, you know, pictures and all that shit. So it does make it easier to a certain extent, and it does connect people. Like, I do think, I know that's so fucking corny to be like, oh, social media connects people, but like, it does connect people. But yeah, I feel like I just have such a love-hate relationship with it. I genuinely do. It's such like a blessing and a curse. It really is, for me anyway. I feel like, you know. How do you feel about social media?
So I like it, and I'm not the person that blames everything bad on social media. But the trends that everybody follows and just does over and over, and like, it bothers them. Like, do something different.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
And what you just told me, that story, that would like kill me.
That's
like,
the one thing that literally kills me. Like, I like all the good stuff, like you know, the good stories, like the happy stories. Like, I jump on that. Like, you know how the algorithm follows whatever you set, like whatever you go into.
Stuff popping
so
up.
my whole fucking Instagram is literally all quotes about like positivity and like how to help anxiety and ADHD, because that's all I ever look into is like how to have a better, you know, like my mental health and all that stuff, because I'm like a huge mental health, I can't say advocate because I'm not an advocate, I don't know really what that, but I'm like, I think it took me so long in my life to realize, like, you know, your mental health is literally the number one thing. Okay. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
But yeah, that's the thing about social media that I can't stand it. It's just the bad, like the good things I love and I adore, but the bad things, it just hurts my fucking heart. It really does. It kills me.
Yeah. It
sucks.
There's a right way to use it that most people don't, but some do. And
some
the ones that do.
Some are beautiful. Some are like, you know, I cry. And then there's other ones that I'm like, why did you have to post that? Like, why'd you have to do that, you motherfucker? Like, you just, you know, ruined my fucking day. But but you know, social media.
So we got like 2 minutes. You have anything else you want to talk about?
Oh my God, that's so
pressured.
Yeah, so much pressure.
Or we could just you could tell people how to get a hold of you or how to find you.
I don't even know. How do you get a hold of
TikTok
me? I don't know. Like,
TikTok for like a month and then it might be gone again.
TikTok. Well, yeah, the TikTok Francesca Decotis is my TikTok handle, and Instagram is f.decotis. But other than that, you can find me sleeping in my bed, trying to figure out a way to, you know, do something with my life.
You seem to be doing a lot.
I'm trying. I'm just, you know, gotta fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Don't post that. That's horrible. That's horrible, because I'm like, I'm all about being real and being honest, and I'm like, fake it till you make it, you know? That makes so much fucking sense. But
Anyway, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you
on.
so
This was
much.
great.
This was so exciting. I love it here. This is my first podcast.
I like this place.
This is my first podcast.
You'll probably have more now.
I fucking love it here. Oh my God. If anybody wants to go on your podcast,
You might start one. Soon.
I love the vibe of it all. I really am. This is like, I think that's why I was so nervous on the drive here. I was shaking. We almost got in like 3 car accidents. I was like, it's my first podcast. What the fuck am I doing? I'm like, I don't even know if I could curse. He's going to kick me out. And I'm literally like, we had the U-turn like 6 times. We're flying. And by the way, my license is suspended. My license has been suspended for the last 8 years. I've been driving without a license. So
That's impressive.
That's another thing. Yeah. I got pulled over twice by a cop, but in my pajamas, like I was in my pajamas dropping off my kids. I was like, oh, my kids are home. And he just like let me go. There's so many stories with cops that I do. I'm lucky in that way. But I admitted I have no license for the last 7 years. Yeah.
right.
I've been driving with a suspended license.
We'll get home safe.
So, thank you so much. I'm so
Thank you.
excited. Thank you. What do I do? Is it done? Is it over?
Yeah, that's it.
Is it over?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it? It's over. See, you should have sat on the couch.
Just told